versus the home side, Ghana, in a crucial encounter here at the Achimota B Cricket Oval here at the Achimota School in Ghana. Earlier this morning, my colleague Dennis Musali was at the toss.
Final day of the group matches at the 13th edition of the African Games. Our first game here at Achimota B Ground is a clash between the hosts Ghana and Kenya. We're out in the middle for the toss with the two captains, Obed Harvey from Ghana, Patel from Kenya. Our third umpire for the day, Mr. Bruce Emmanuel, and the tournament match referee, Mr. Owen Kirombe. Ghana the home side, so they'll be doing the tossing. Obed, you win the toss. Tell us what we're going to do and why.
Yeah, we're going to have a bat and put some score on the board and look to defend.
All right. You've been bowling fast in your previous two games. What has come up? Why is a change in mind for you?
Yeah, we play with less pressure and just go out there and have some good time on the field and make sure we spend time.
All right. The final game for you guys as a unit. What has been the experience like for your team?
It's been a fantastic one, honestly speaking. Like, we never saw this coming. So if this is here for us today and this period, and yeah, we just want to maximize this opportunity.
All right. Any changes for the team that played against Uganda?
Yeah, we've got Awala Kelvin coming back in, and then one who hasn't played any of the games so far, Philip, coming in for his fair share also.
All right. Good luck to you and the boys.
Thanks, man.
Rakep, not a very happy man to be bowling fast, but what do you make of the decision?
It's fine. I think the pitch looks a little bit on the slow side, so we just try and restrict them as much as we can.
All right. You need this result to make sure that you qualify for the semi-finals. How is the game important for you guys, and how well are you prepared?
Yeah, it's very important. All the boys know that we really need to win this game, but it depends as the night trended as well. So we look to restrict them and chase as fast as possible.
You'll be looking for a favor from your very tough neighbors, Uganda, to beat South Africa. But any changes from the team that played in the game against South Africa?
No, it's the same team.
Okay. Good luck to you and the boys.
Thank you.
That's the news from the middle. Ghana have won the toss and they've elected to bat first.
Clearly, you get that from the middle. My dear colleague Dennis giving us the brief there, and it's Ghana who have won the toss and will be batting this morning. My name is Endurance, and we'll be doing this with you with my dear friend Dennis Musale, and that's the team the Ghanaians will be parading for this game. James Kweko Viva, the man who got going against South Africa but couldn't continue in the second. Richmond Valerie, Obed Harvey, the captain himself, Rexford Bakum, Alex Osei, Kelvin Mako, Awala, Joseph Kwame Theodore, Godfred Bakiwayem, Kofi Bagabina, Lee Inyako, and Philip. These are the guys that will be doing it for Ghana, and trust me, it's a third of this T20I between both teams. It's Kenya who have dominated the first two, and Ghana will be hoping to take at least one back on home soil. Dennis, you're welcome to the Comes Box.
Thank you, Endurance, and should be an interesting clash between the host Ghana. They want to finish on a high, looking at the Kenyan team unchanged from the one that defeated South Africa in a couple of days ago. The key man in that win, the youngster, 16-year-old Anav Patel, man of match, picking up a fiver in that game, continues in the side. But Patel, the captain of the team, also very, very influential. Colin Obuya at the top of that batting order, got a half century in that game, was the enforcer of things. Now Kenya needing a result in this particular game just to make sure that they qualify for the semi-finals that will be happening tomorrow. So Kenya unchanged for today, and this in a must-win game against the host Ghana. But they will be keeping an eye on what is happening at Achimota A Ground, where Uganda is taking on South Africa, because a result in that game could affect their progress. They need a favor from their East African neighbors, Kenya, Uganda, to make sure that they can be assured of a place in the semi-finals tomorrow.
Oh, clearly South Africa is in trouble there. 23 for 2 already from 6 overs at that Oval A, and it's the umpires who are strolling in today. Adil from Tanzania and Enesi Amoto Dahiru from Nigeria will be the umpires today. It's Kenya who will be bowling. Hopefully they can get going early enough to put themselves in a very comfortable situation. But our big win against South Africa certainly has given them an edge here. Victory here means they're through to the semi-final spot. and that will guarantee some near medal position. Then it's your take about the medal standing at the end of Saturday.
Very, very tricky. I can't call it right now because all the teams, even in both groups, have an opportunity of making the semi-finals. Maybe Uganda looking like the team that is assured, but the other teams are still fighting for a semi-final place. The two umpires out in the middle, NSC Habib from Nigeria and Adil Hassan, will be in charge of this particular game. The umpires, the opening batters stroll out in the middle. Richmond Barrera and James Kwaku Viva, who've been doing well for Team Ghana at the top of the order. They were very, very influential in the loss to South Africa because at least they gave the home crowd something to cheer about. And taking the new ball for Team Kenya will be their vice captain Lucas Nanderson from the road end, with the Richmond Barrera taking first strike.
Would be good to see Ghana set something decent here. And let's make a game out of this one.
Yeah, I think Ghana have been dominated in the two losses they've suffered. Uganda scored 197 against them. The South Africans scored 237. But they've been very, very brave with the bat. So, like you said, you were hoping that they can be able to, put on a competitive total. But Rakep at the toss looked like he was more interested in batting and not bowling. But we'll wait and see how this one goes.
Well, with these hits and these surfaces, you want to go straight and bat once you win the toss.
Bang on the money there. First up from Lucas. Lucas was also a very good influencer in the win against South Africa. Bowled some very hard lengths at the top of the order, and that put breaks on the South African ranches. Eventually, he was able to pick up 2 wickets. But I think his spell at the top was very, very good and helped Kenya consolidate things. And later on, when Anav Patel came in, he just made sure he cleans up the tail.
Drifting down leg, that one. The second dot.
Kenya have only suffered 1 loss in this tournament, and that was to Team Uganda. But they were very clinical in the game against South Africa. And that put them in this position where they have a chance of qualifying for the semi-finals and push for gold. The top 2 teams in this group will play the top 2 in the other group. First place, second, and vice versa, same way. So could be interesting. Good offer there for Richmond. Throws his hands at it. The chase is on from Francis Mutua, who's able to keep it in. Richmond looked like he was sure it was going to reach the boundary, but doesn't.
That was a brilliant shot. Managed to find a gap through between the cover fielder and the Collins, who was standing at that shot, mid-off position. Seems to have watched a couple of games these Ghanaians have played.
Swing and a miss. But a very, very hard length and a hard ball there from Lucas. So Deep Singh was not very comfortable. He took that behind the stumps because by the time he picked it up, it was still rising on him. But Lucas hits the deck very hard. I think he has a lot of effort balls. And with the sort of wickets we've seen throughout this whole tournament, there's not much life in them for, a fast bowler.
It's a beautifully bowled, just around same area's length as the last delivery. That one went through Richmond playing across, but this time showing the full face of the bat. Dennis, I always agree that's the area where once it comes around your ankle, should be able to be driven back through the V. We saw the way the South Africans, the Namibians batted up front, and the Ugandans.
Again, full face of the bat, one bounce and into the rope. This time Richmond Barrera makes sure he has enough bat on that one, and he will carry all the way to the boundary.
That's the end of the first over. It's 6-0 loss. That's the shot again. A loud extension of arms. Looking to go big on the offside. Managed it over extra covers. The much needed boundary from that over.
Change it to take the new ball for Kenya from the forest end is Gerald Mwenda.
Beautiful delivery. Good comeback by Gerard. Probing around that off stump, foot stump line. It's where you want to be, Elliot.
Yeah, this time the Kenyans going with medium pace as both ends of the wicket. In the win against South Africa, they used spin from one end. And good lines there from Gerald Mwenda. But you were talking about it, endurance. If you see how James is able to come forward, that is a ball that is under his eye line. If he's brave enough and just goes through with a shot, we could get rewarded rather than playing with a dead bat.
Well, that's the level of, that's what you expect in T20 cricket. But again, nothing bad in trying to see what the bowler is doing. The third delivery. The question is, how long is he going to hold up? He's got the quality, James Kweko Viva.
Speak about it. This time James uses his feet just to try and negate the length. Anav Patel is onto it, and they'll just pick up 2 runs. Not a very flashing outfield.
James has been around this team long enough to understand how to navigate this fast bowling. He's a fine batter. He's got the experience, the charisma, the personality, and the skills to deliver for Ghana. The question is, how long can he hold up? If he bats 20 overs, which I always want at least one of the batters to do, then we have runs chased here later.
Again, a big booming drive, but just goes straight to Shem Ngocha, who's standing at mid-off. But I think Richmond and James in the game against Uganda, he got nothing for it. Went out for a duck. But I think he was very, very brave against the South Africans, taking on their medium pacers. Even if some of them were giving him a lot of mouth, he was able to stay calm and composed and put on a very imposing opening stand with Richmond Barrera.
When I used to captain the Nigerian team, I'll tell my fielders not to talk to him. The more you talk to him, you get the better of him.
Doesn't get all of it, but they'll pick up just a single. There's protection down for Gerald Mwenda. Just tries to bang in short. The plan there should have always been to just try and hook it behind square instead of trying to play it in front of square. There are players like that, endurance, who are motivated by talking to them. So always intelligent captains will tell you, man, don't talk to him because you rattle him.
Certainly, the more you speak, the more quality you get from such batters. I'll tell you, once you challenge my mind, then I don't want to get out because there's something to play for. But if you just stay calm, maybe if you wait a while, you might get a chance.
Quickly through, and they'll pick up a single. Kenya shouldn't allow such runs that are being taken right in front of them. Consider the young Patel, who was the player of the match in the win against South Africa. 5 for 15 for him. What a fit. Those don't come very often. After the second over, Ghana is 11 for no loss.
It's Lucas who continues as a hard length. Tucked him in. Certainly, watching Richmond, you don't want to give him room and weight to throw those arms. Anything around him is difficult to put away. But once you give him that weight, then he extends his arms.
And that's what I like about Lucas. From that angle, he's able to make sure that he doesn't give the batters the room to try and free their arms. So your best option is trying to hit him down the ground. Something like that. They take the single quickly. Ball goes through Emmanuel Bundi and will race away for a boundary. Hands on his hips there, the vice captain. Won't be a very happy man with that sort of fielding.
It's a poor show there from the fielder. However, good character and show of content there by Lucas. Not, that's it, just slightly over pitch. I was there for the take. Disappointing. I mean, I was talking about the character of Lucas not showing any aggressive mode. Just looked up and went about the next one.
Yeah, there's been some casualness in the Kenyans. I don't know if they're not taking the context very, very serious. Sometimes when you're playing teams that you feel a bit below your quality, raising your game to the level at which you need to perform can become difficult. But it's important that your standards never drop, irrespective of who the opposition is.
Can't agree less, Dennis. Clearly, they have to push themselves to that level. That's another wide. You can see the body language slow on the field. They must find that energy from somewhere and that attitude, positive. Try and grind and push Ghana. Don't just go through the process.
And you always want to leave a mark as well, that in this encounter the people should remember this sort of performance for how clinical it was. Extras down the leg side there from Lucas. So it's important that always you make sure that you put your best foot forward, so that when guys are telling stories 5 years from now, they always talk about that game at Achimota ground where balls were getting lost or wickets were flying.
Tell you what, should Ghana win this game, that leaves the bottom three looking at the net run rates. But certainly, it is Kenya who have done the hard work by beating South Africa 2 days ago. And we're going to walk through Ghana on this one. Tucked away for a single. That's a young Patel. Must be proud of himself having taken that fiver against South Africa. Current run rate is a 6.8, and it's Ghana who have won the toss and elected to bat. So far it's been good. They're in a quiet and driving position at the moment. Kenya is still looking for that wicket. Big shot. They will run out opportunity. They scrambled for that one. They're safe. It's a leg by, a signal by the umpire NSC Dairo from Nigeria.
Big booming drive from Richmond. And that will finish off the third over. Ghana 19 for no loss.
The usual saying goes, runs on the board, brings on the pressure, put pressure on the team. Hopefully Ghana can muzzle out something from their lucky 20 overs. But straight away, as expected, at some point spin was going to play a major role. And that's the senior man, Ngoche, who will continue bowling from the golf club end of this over B in Achimota.
Yeah, Shem, a former captain of the Kenyan team, brought into the attack immediately. I think now the Kenyans trying to make sure they seize the initiative and take responsibility of the game. We know how much the slow bowlers have been good enforcers of things. So Shem brought in to bowl inside the power play.
Always going to be a proud moment to have former captains playing on your side. Dennis, if you are captain.
Full face of the bat. I don't know, some of those singles, I think they are available for the taking from the Ghanaians, but they're not seizing up those opportunities. Sometimes you can't just wait for the obvious singles. You need to create chances for yourselves, even with the running between wickets. Using his feet, James Kwaku just walks it down for a single.
I always tell you, he's got the character. The stats we've seen of him is not what the potentials really showed. James Viva, 4 of 8. He's got the ability to take the game away from anybody. But let's hope we see more of him today. It's Richmond. Valerie was on 12 of 12 deliveries, strike rate of 100. Thus far.
Good cricket from the Ghanaians. Richmond Barrera just hitting down the leg side. The problem is they're not taking the first one very quickly. There could be an opportunity for a second, but if you casually jog through, Gerald Mwenda has been fumbling the ball a little bit, but if you take the first one quickly, you have a chance for a second. Walks down the ground and walks past that one. James Kwaku Viva loses his wicket. Deceived through the air, balled a little slower from Shem Ngoche. Sukhdeep Singh does the rest. Ghana lose here first.
A much needed break. Kenya, happy moment. Just keeping an eye across that's the ball again. It comes down the line, just playing away from that one. Ball going through and passing the outside edge.
I'll tell you, as a former wicketkeeper, Endurance, that is one of the easiest stampings to ever make, because you can clearly see the ball coming out of the batter. Good work from Sukhdeep Singh. Shem comes into the attack and breaks the opening partnership. Ghana 21 for 1 after 3.4.
It's the captain, Obed who strolls on and keeping an eye on Oval A activity, South Africa versus Uganda. It is 41 for 4 after 10 overs. South Africa batting.
Yeah, Obed Harvey, very, very proud man. He loves playing for Ghana. And yesterday, when we were watching the athletics at the University of Ghana Stadium, Ghana had won a medal in one of the events, and he's one of the people who are passionately in capital letters and bold, singing the national anthem as it was being played for the winner. So he's a very, very proud man, and I spoke about this being a very good learning experience for his team.
It's Obed Harvey, the captain of Ghana himself, who will be up against Shem Ngoche of Ghana. 4 deliveries, 2 runs and a wicket. Cuts away, brilliant piece of fielding there. Just one they will scramble for.
Yeah, good work there from Neil Mugabe to just keep it to 1. Gets off the mark immediately, the captain. Tossed it up, and what a top quality shot. Richmond Barrera using his feet, gets to the pitch of the ball, and he clobbers it over the head of Rakesh Patel standing at mid-off.
As we show again, Shem, not shy, brilliant and amazing footwork. Clearly no fielder at that position, long off. And he will take his chance. Just a little shimmy down the wicket. 1 bounce. And that brings us to the end of the 4th over, 26 for 1.
Emmanuel Bundi comes back into the attack to replace Lucas from the road end. I think for Ghana, what an experience it's been being part of the African Games and being part of the teams that are here for the men's edition. A moving day, you will call it, because in this particular group, we feel like Uganda are the only ones who had earned a place into the semi-finals, while the other 3 teams needed to do some extra work. Walk through the empty square leg region. They'll pick up a single. They discover Nelson Odiambo with the cleanup. Because Bundi tries to bowl the ball into the batters, sometimes he strays towards the pads.
It's good to see how the Ghanaians have managed to work themselves around this one. Just a rotating strike and that one off boundary every now and then. Just keeping it around 6.54, around that region.
Too much backing down the wicket, too much backing up by Richmond Barrera. Nearly got himself in trouble if Rakesh Patel had hit. This Group A action this morning. This particular group has South Africa, Uganda, Kenya, and Ghana in it. Uganda with the only team with a 100% record, while Kenya picked up a win against South Africa. South Africa was able to defeat Ghana. So now Kenya need to make sure they pick up a result in this game to see themselves into the semi-finals. For South Africa, they also need to win their game against Uganda if they are going to be able to qualify for the semi-finals. Comes down the track, who should run quickly, but he's able to get there. The ball kindly bounced for Shem Ngoche, who's standing at mid-on. His throw is just wayward.
I tell you one good thing, no pressure here for Ghana, but they must be able to assess what is good enough for Total to defend and ensure anything can happen. This is cricket. South Africa presently are on 45 for 5, and anything can happen in this game if Ghana takes victory here. The question will be how much defeat was that, but the undoing for Ghana will be that first one. And that brings us to the end of the 5th over. It's 29 for 1.
Another bowling change. Gerard Mwenda comes back into the attack, replacing Shem. Just bowled the one over and was taken out, so Gerald is back. The final over of the power play. Swing and a miss, first up from Gerald. The ball just going across Obed Harvey. Obed Harvey is someone who's been around Ghana cricket for a very long time. I won't be surprised if you guys played against each other, Endurance.
Yes, we did. I mean, at the peak of my career, he was one campaigner for Ghana that you'll always have to think of getting out. Trust me, he's got that quality.
What a top quality shot there from Obed Harvey. Simple extension of the arms. Goes over the infield. Races away for a boundary.
I tell you, at some point, we lived together in Nigeria and he played in the Nigerian league. So that's a shot again for you. Neatly done over the inner ring on the offside. That is a top quality shot anytime, any day.
Yeah, when you see the left-handers playing that shot, it just looks so nice. Leans into the ball and just checks it.
Is that one player I'll say he's got the ability to play anywhere in the world, Obed Harvey. The question is how long has he been around? Does he have the quality coaching that is required? Is Ghana cricket up there among the top nations in Africa for him to get that amount of cricket? He spent some time in South Africa where he got the opportunity to be living again. I must say he's a brave chap. He's been around coaching cricket here in Ghana and helping out with the women's team.
Goes again, but this time there's protection. And very intelligent enough, he knows that there's someone out there, so he plays it all along the ground. You mentioned something very much. Obed had to overcome personal tragedy for him to even just be playing cricket again. So he's a warrior for his nation.
Anytime, any day, happy to see him, a real competitor on the field of play. We've gone on many battles against each other. Lucky for me, I've won many of those. Tucked away, a fielder and deep square leg coming to play. Just a single from that delivery. Might not have been as aggressive as one would have expected, but it's been a good power play for Ghana. I would say Kenya just taking a wicket in the 6 overs. Clearly, they would have young Patel to contend with very soon.
On top of that, from Obed Harvey, And the first half a dozen comes up for the Ghanaians. Obed Harvey pulling that over the man standing at deep mid-wicket.
That's what we talk about. I mean, these amazing potentials they've got. It's end of the 6th over. It's 41 for 1. Just showing you again that beautiful shot. There you go. Pitch is short and it's trademark straight away. Pulls that one.
Yeah, half track from Gerard Mwenda. There's no pace in this wicket. So just sits up nicely for Obed Harvey, who's confident enough. He's playing at home, so he knows whether I'm hitting with the wind or against the wind. This time he doesn't even bother controlling the shot and playing it all along the ground. He just goes for a maximum.
And that's the end of the power play. As expected, it's Patel that would take the ball from the school end of this over. Coming from the fiver, young Patel dominated the under-19 qualifiers in Nigeria a couple of years back and did well in the main tournament in Tanzania. Here he is for Kenya. Anav Patel.
First up, and should be a wicket for Anav Patel. Richmond Barrera looks surprised that there's someone in there, but shows that there was some lack of awareness from Richmond Barrera, who didn't know that there was someone out in the deep. Ghana lose their second. Anav Patel continues from where he stopped the other day by coming into the attack and picking up a wicket.
That's it again for you. Comes down the wicket and goes big. But the question is, perhaps should have kept it on the ground. Just see, cover the face of that bat. Would have been safe. Disappointing for Richmond. Baleri. Not good enough. This time is Rexford Bakum, the big man. He's got the energy and power. Hopefully he can negotiate Avan Patel, who is presently on 6 wickets in this tournament.
Rexford Bakum gets off the mark immediately. I think one of the balls that Anav Patel really that gets him a lot of wickets is his googly. Ball the same way as leggy. So if you don't pick it up, you could be in trouble. Not could be, you will be in trouble.
Well, the needed wickets just after the power play overs is Patel, this time to the captain Obed Harvey.
Creamed by Obed Harvey through covers and races away for a boundary. Overpitched from Anav Patel. Obed Harvey just makes sure he's right on top of it.
That's a shot again for you. He comes down the wicket and creams through covers. Beautifully played. Dennis, the trick here would be that he's bowling to left-hander. Might be difficult for Anav Patel, and this is where Ghanaians will have to play intelligent cricket, making sure that it's Obed Harvey that faces him every time. It's always going to be difficult when you bowl as a right-hand leggy to a left-hander.
I think now it will be the responsibility of the captain to ensure that He's hogging most of the strike every time Anav Patel is coming into the attack.
That conversation must be on between Rexford and Obed Harvey. Tucks that one away for a single. And that's what we're talking about. So it's easier to play the off spinner that goes into the right-hand batter. And same way the leggy becomes that off spin to a left-hander. There the Kenyan captain will have to think this one through, because this might become so easy for the Ghanaians with Obed Harvey in the crease. And because he's got the ability to do damage to any side, and it's end of the 7th over, 47 for the loss of 2 wickets. Is Ghana still batting at 6.7 run rate per over?
Rakeb Patel comes into the attack for Team Kenya, and he'll be bowling to his opposite number, Obed Harvey. Not a bad plan there for Rakeb to bring himself into the attack, maybe just trying to take the ball away from Obed. But they get a single off the first ball to bring the big Rexford Bakum on strike. Rexford Bakum can hit a long ball, but I just need to hang around long enough for that skill to show through. Rexford, when he's holding a cricket bat, it looks like he's holding a spoon. Such a big man.
Perhaps we have to get him to get to the big guns, Creek Gales, show him what bat he must be using. Run out opportunity. Throws it wide, and they will get a couple more. It's poor show of fielding here by the Kenyans.
Yeah, and you can see the legend there, Collins Obuya, very, very unhappy with himself, because a clean pick-up and throw to Sukhdeep Singh might have had Obed Harvey in trouble. He took off quickly, but he wasn't even in the frame, Obed Harvey. It's just lucky. The backup completely missing as well allows them to pick up 2 runs. Another single down the ground. Obed Harvey needs to be watching his partner. He seems to be starting a bit late.
Are we having trust issues here?
Trust issues, maybe a case of different networks. One is on Vodacom and the other is on Telecel.
Well, the only way to resolve trust issues is communication. Brilliant. Just a dab towards cover region that is open. The man in the deep comes in, ensures it's a single.
Endurance, I don't know if that advice is coming from your experience working in the telecom sector or experience from elsewhere. End of the 8th over, 52 for 2. Anav Patel will continue from the road end, went for 5 in his first, but had picked up a wicket. And you can see, like you mentioned, that Obed Harvey is now the man on strike, and I think he's trying to make sure that they don't let Anav settle.
Oh, that's the whole idea, dominate the young man.
I think if you let him settle in his rhythm, he could be dangerous for you. Chance for a second, but Rexford Bakum very, very quick between the wickets. Very good running between the wickets, and they get 3 for that.
I think it's good to see how this young man will approach this. I like the contents between the captain and Patel. Let's see how he comes back.
I like the confidence that Rakeb Patel and the Kenyan team have in Anav Patel. giving him a chance to play at this level and also bowl at this level.
Well, it's very important. You must keep giving those youngsters the opportunity.
Sometimes you'll be thinking that maybe you give him 1 or 2 overs and then you take him out. But you know, they've given him the opportunity to bowl as many as he can.
He goes big, gets hold of that one. That one will go all the way straight to the ropes.
Yeah, Rexford Bakum, a very, very powerful player. Go fetch that, because he just reaches for it and he trusts his power to hit that into Achimota A ground. Not a bad ball from Anav, but that's the power of the man. Bakum just leans into that one and he hits it into Achimota A ground.
It's good to see the contest here. It has the pressure up.
10 runs have already come off this over, so the pressure, like you've said, is on Anav to try and just keep the over from getting big. Completely misses that one. There was no room for him to just cut it, Bakum. And I think Harvey is just trying to have a word with him to tell him that, you know, we already have enough runs in this over. Let's just try and consolidate. 62 for 2 in 9 overs is not a bad place for Ghana to be.
Certainly. And the last delivery of the 9th over is Patel versus Rexford. Brilliant line. He scrambles this one. No easy call. What is that communication about, Obed Harvey? And that brings us to the end of the 9th over. It's 62 for 2. The run rate is 6.8. Just dropped below 7 there.
Rakeb Patel will continue from the forest end. Played well on the back foot there from Obed Harvey. The last time these two batted together against South Africa, they got run out. And you can clearly see maybe the communication is not very, very good.
If I was to be the coach of this Ghanaian team, I probably would get both of them run together for 1 hour, calling out loud, yes, no, wait.
Oh, chance just over the head of Collins Obuya. Does that work anyway? Does it work when you get them to, you know, to do that?
Well, trust me. I mean, if you get both of them communicating as much as often in practice, running between wicket, creating those run-out scenarios, they will start learning how to communicate clearly.
Well played there by Rexford. Very, very quick between the wickets. Interested in a second. But Collins Obuya gets around quickly. And those are very good things. People don't pay a lot of attention to them, but that's the 1% that sometimes can make a difference in a game. Hasn't been able to pick the gap. Obed Harvey. It's too much. I don't know how difficult it is, but there's always too much room right in front of you. But you continuously hit the ball to fielders. End of the 10th over. 64 for 2 Ghana. Ghana won the toss and elected to bat first. They're now 64 for 2. The wickets for Anav Patel and Gerald Mwenda so far for the Kenyans. Ghana taking on Kenya here at the Achimota ground on the final match day of the group games in the 13th edition of the African Games. We'll take a short break and we'll be back.
South Africa they on 74 for 6. Welcome back here this afternoon, this morning.
Welcomes him back from the Briggs break with the boundary.
I like the positive approach here by the Ghanaians. These two certainly can take the game away from any side in this tournament. They've got the ability and they run quickly to 68 for 2. It's Rexford Bakum versus Shem Ngoche. This time he goes on the ground. A fielder comes around that one. It will just be a single. They want a second. No, it is.
I've watched Rexford bat for a couple of times, and the only flaw I would say in his power hitting game is that he leans back when he's going to hit the ball. So he just trusts his power.
I agree with you. I mean, and that is what I wish the coaches would be seeing. He's been like that for the past 4 to 5 years. He leans slightly backwards and trying to go over the top. But if the coaches can just get him to lead with his head and shoulder. Oh, what a beauty. That one misses everything and will race away to the boundary. So unlucky. But again, Ghana would be happy.
Yeah, offers his apologies to Deep Singh, to Shem Ngoche, who's not a very happy man. He's just trying to keep the over tidy, and that one goes through the keeper for another boundary. The runs are leaking for the Ghanaians, so they need to be very, very careful, the Kenyans, not to let them get so many.
Dennis, we were talking about that techniques of Rexford earlier.
Hit straight again. Ghana on the charge now. After the drinks break, they've stepped on the gas. And they're just making sure that they keep the run scoring going. I think Shem is a bit frustrated, especially after the previous delivery.
That's a shot for you. Slightly over pitch. And Obed Harvey, the captain, goes wide off the long off fielder on the offside. Certainly, that positive approach. It's 9 from that over already. Just leans back, run out of opportunity, misses it. The fielder comes in the dip. Rexford jogs a second. Obed Harvey smuggles in the second run there.
Yeah, like you can say, I think that's proper smuggling. There was no single at all. So Obed and Rexford need to be careful. You already have a very big over. I don't know. You don't need to take that risk. Is not necessary right now. So.
Again, Dennis, you talked about the risks. It's still going big here. You already have 12, 13, 15 runs from this over. And that's the end of the 11th one. It's 79 for 2. That's a very big over for Ghana. The run rate currently sits at 7.18. And Ghana looking all set here. Obed Harvey, 27 of 26. Rexford Bakum, 16 of 13. Looking to explode from here.
Yeah, when we're talking about it, we're talking about the technique there from Rexford. When you keep doing that for a very long time, you might have no back left by the time you call time on your career.
But again, you see, he's not got so much power when you bowl on that first stump line. Just letting that ball leave him a bit is something captains will have to capitalize here. Big shout, noisy call. They will smuggle for a single there. Obed Harvey, this time you can see the longer you bat together, the better communication gets. And that's what you've seen between these two. Early on is quite shaky. And you know, get a strike. I want that single. I want to rotate strike. Those early 5 overs will more or less almost get you into trouble. But if you can get through them, it becomes so easy.
Oh, comes off the bottom edge. The chest will be on. And they'll pick up 2. Lucas Nanderson with the cleanup. Endurance, I wanted to ask you, 80 for 2, not a bad place after 11.2 overs. What does Ghana do from here on to just try and make sure, they finish around the 140 run mark?
A brilliant shot. This time, long on comes into play. They're rotating the strike nicely. Trust me, Dennis, one of these two we have to carry through to the 20th over. That is one way you can get to 140, 150 mark from here, and it would become a very good game. Intelligent batting here. They keep rotating strike, running the 2s hard, and they're taking the singles and hoping for that boundary opportunity. Ghana in a very good position to climb from here. It's theirs to mess around with, but I tell you at the moment they're looking solid.
Well played. Another thing I also like about how Rexford approaches his power game is that he doesn't actually hit everything. He knows which balls he can come after, and then he plays within himself for the other deliveries.
I mean, what I would love to see, I would love to see him develop some other shots away from that power hitting. It's end of the 12th over, and it's 84 for 2. Across the bridge or road or whatever you call it is 77 for 7 and 17.3 overs bowled by Uganda versus South Africa.
End of the 12th, Ghana 84 for 2 now. Emmanuel Bundi will come back into the attack. I think Rakep has had enough of the slow bowlers. They don't seem to be having an effect. So the Kenyans have to do something different now to just slow down the run rate, but also to find a wicket or 2. If you break this partnership, that means Ghana has to start all over again. So you start from somewhere.
But clearly he hasn't bowled poorly himself, the captain. I mean, he's the captain of the side, so he knows what bowlers to take off. He has to keep going. He's bowled 3 overs and conceded 11. So I think he's done well himself. It's just that big over from Shem Goche and the fact that Patel not getting the grip against Obed Harvey, who have stuck in there. That's something coaches will have to think about. You get a left, right arm leggy. He goes big this time. Fielder comes around it. Is it safe? Just before the fielder. The much needed. A brilliant piece of fielding there. Is Rexford Bakum straight away.
Very good arm from Nelson Odiambo out in the deep. But Rexford still trying to show intent. They're just making sure that the bowlers don't settle.
The needed dot.
Where do you think Ghana can finish if they keep going like this?
Well, if these two bat through, I see them around 140, 150 mark. If they lose a wicket, they might end up around 130s. Because after these two, I don't really see maybe Theodora, Joseph.
Uses his feet, Rexford very well and gets to the pitch of the ball. Bit of a fumble from Shemungoche, but they'll just pick up the single. And you're right, I think this is probably the last recognized pair of batters for the Ghanaians. So they need to make sure that they can bat for as long as possible. And Obed is on 30 from 30 balls, Rexford 20 from 18. So for now, these are the guys who need to carry on the momentum from here on. Walked behind square, they'll get one for it. Obed Harvey, the captain. Very good over from Emmanuel Bondi for now. Hit with a lot of power, but down the ground. Protection from Shem. This partnership now was 48 runs already. And another shimmy down the wicket. Francis Mutua comes across. They will pick up two. We're yet to see him into the attack, Francis Mutua. Not a bad over there from Emmanuel Bundi. Gives away just 7 runs. After 13 overs, Ghana is now 91 for 2.
More story here, 9 runs away from the triple mark. And it's Captain Obed Harvey, who understands what is required batting with Rexford Bakum. They've both carried this partnership through.
You mentioned Rakep was going so well. It's given away just 11 runs in its 3 overs. So we'll come and bowl his final over. 50 now, make it 51. The partnership between Obed Harvey and Rexford Bakum. Contributions 19 from Obed and 21 from Rexford. 92 for 2 Ghana. Raises his finger. Commentators curse. Just mentioned how well the partnership was going. Obed Harvey perishes for a well-constructed 33. Taken out by his opposite number, Rakeb Patel.
Dominance. Kenyan captain just winning that battle. That's the wicket again. This time he looks to go the other way. Yes. Umpire made no mistake about that one.
Yeah, very unnecessary there by Obed Harvey. Just play a proper cricket shot, you'll still get the same reward. Going for high risk with no reward.
I've always talked about how batters in this tournament have just decided to go the other way without being under pressure. I mean, you should take those risks when you're under pressure, when you're looking for runs, not when you're batting nicely, you settled in. I'm sure, knowing Obed Harvey, he would be disappointed with himself. Just when Ghana looks set. At this time, Rexford will have to take ownership of this innings, and it's Kevin Mako who joins him. 92 for 3. The needed break for Kenya.
The new batter for Ghana is Kelvin Awala. Comes up immediately, sends it down the throat of Francis Mutua, who takes a very good catch. One brings two for the Kenyans. Ghana now quickly from 92 for 2, they are now 92 for 4. Apologies for the break in transmission. There was a power failure at the ground, but we're back here and the situation looks very, very different from the last time we were here. Ghana won 93 for 2, and now somehow they've collapsed to 107 for 9. Dennis Musali is my name, and I'm still here with Endurance of M. What a collapse, Endurance. Ghana have connived to lose a couple of wickets, we must say.
Well, very disappointing here, I must say. We had thought we had a great game in our hands. Watching, he goes big and across, straight to the fielder, misses that one. Then we'll get a couple, one taking run-out opportunity. Brilliant throw, but they're home safe. We talked about how we're going to have a good game today, probably seeing 130s, 140s. But that partnership, Rexford, Bakum, and Obed have it, the captain. That's what you expect once you're in and you get out. Really goes bad, and it's giving Avan Patan, who's come back nicely to take 3 for 20 from 3.3, and he continues in the last over.
Again, well played. Shem lets it run for the fielder out in extra cover. Now the Kenyans starting to even casually pick up the ball. But I'll tell you, at a certain time, they were under the pump. The final over from the captain, Patel, he got 3 wickets, and I think that's where the chaos started from. And now Patel has also come into the attack and picked up another 3. He had struggled in his first 2 overs.
And also there, the captain himself, Rakep Patel. Yeah, you spoke about him. Brilliant economy rate there.
That's a problem. When you don't have wickets at the back end, you're more or less just struggling to get over the line. So you can't make a charge for it. 111 for 9 after 18 overs. Ghana, this looked like a comfortable 140. But now they're even struggling to get to the 120 run mark.
Dennis, the point is the way those wickets were lost. After Obed left, Kevin came in and straight hawks it straight to deep mid wicket. It was quite a disappointing show, and they must go and think deep after this tournament what they could have done. Haven't batted and put yourself in such a good position at 92 for 2 with 8 overs in hand. Well, we'll see how long and how far they take it from here. The run rate is back to 6.2. 111 for 9.
Lucas Nanderson will come into the attack to bowl from the road end. And now finishing with 3 for 22 in his 4 overs. Make that 8 wickets for him in the tournament so far. Lucas will come from the road end. Too good for a tail ender there, Lucas. Lee now trying to survive throughout this whole over. On the other ground, Uganda. South Africa finished on 96 for 9. 95 for 9, so Uganda need 96 runs for the victory. But they've already lost a wicket. They're 9 for 1. Another swing and a miss. That one missing by just small margins. Lee Nyako, the batter for the Ghanaians. Timber. Lucas Naderson cleans up the Ghanaians. They will be all out for 112. From a very, very good position of 92 for 3. The Kenyans come back very well in this second spell to make sure that they limit to Ghana to only 112 runs. Lucas Naderson with the final wicket.
Good comeback by Kenya. They've done well in this second part of the show. Haven't struggled to get wickets. And that's the last delivery. full and ripping off that middle stump. It's Lucas who gets a second.
Yeah, that's how you bowl to the tail. Too good for the tail ender there, Lucas. And the Ghanaians cleaned up for 112 runs in their inside 19 overs. They've lost 7 wickets for just 19 runs. And I think ultimately that has been the failure for them. Ghana won the toss in this particular contest and elected to bat first. They look to be going well after 51-run partnership between Rexford Bakum and Obed Harvey. But once Obed Harvey departed, it's just been carnage. Looking at that batting scorecard, like I've been mentioning, the 51-run partnership between Obed Harvey and Rexford Bakum set up Ghana very nicely after there were contributions at the top from Richmond Barrera. But unfortunately, the rest of the batting, there has been completely nothing. Ghana lost 7 wickets for just 19 runs. Kenya will be unhappy with themselves. They gave 15 extras.
That's the bowling chart for you. The captain himself, Rakep Patel, 3 for 12 from 4 overs. And the young Avan Patel will continue after 5 as the other day, taking 3 here for 22 from 4 overs. Shem Ngoche, that's big second over, 2 for 21 off 3 overs. And that's the bowling card for you. It's Kenya who would need 112 to win from 20 overs. Extras from this, 15. If you take that off 111, perhaps around 90-something, that would have been it.
That will be it. When we come back, Kenya will need 112 runs from 120 balls. And we'll leave you with the highlights from the first innings. the Achimota Air Ground. A clash between Kenya and the hosts Ghana. Ghana finishing on 111 in their 20 overs. Kenya will need 112 from 120 balls for the victory. Neil Mugabe strolls out in the middle to open the batting with Collins Obuya for the Kenyans, while Godfrey Bakum will take the new ball for Ghana from the Forest End. My name is Dennis Musali, and I'm still doing this with Endurance of M.
Thank you, Dennis. It's still morning here. We expect some quick firepower here from Kenya to put themselves in a good position just in case things don't go well for Uganda. But at the moment, it's 30 for 3 from 5.5 overs. Uganda chasing 95, 96 to win. Another 66 required by Uganda. They've lost 3 wickets already in that chase. However, things will begin here with Godfrey Bakiwayem, who will open the bowling from the golf club end of this oval B here in Achimota, Accra, Ghana.
Immediately on the money, shouts for an LB decision but not given by the umpire Adil Kasim. Bit of disappointment there from Godfrey Bakiem. But the indication there from the umpire that the ball was sliding down the leg side. Those sort of deliveries can be challenging when you get the first ball right on the money. If you're not ready for it, you could be in trouble.
On the mark, but Kenya gets going with a single. There was scramble for that one. What hit straight to the fielder at mid-on is a senior man, Collins Obuya, was on strike.
Another good start there from Bakiem. Bakiem likes to always search for the wickets. So with his style of bowling, he's making sure that the wickets come into play. The downside of that is sometimes maybe over pitches and the balls end up becoming full deliveries. So he needs to be careful. There's a very thin line between those two lengths.
Perhaps would have stuck in something there.
Yeah, nothing given there by the umpire. So it was down the leg side. Comes down the wicket, but just ends up yoking himself, Collins Obuya, trying to get off the mark. Using his hands, plays it very late, runs it just without the man. He'll pick up a single. And that should be the end of the first over. Kenya 2 for no loss. Kofi Bagbena will take the new ball from the road end for Team Ghana, and we ball into Collins Obuya.
Starts up with a dot.
He has a nice clean follow through. Sort of follow through, if you over pitch the ball and the bowler hits it straight back at you, could be in trouble.
Looks to go big. That'll be a wide. Comes down the line and misses that one totally. Drifting down leg side. Collins Obuya looking to go the aggressive mood.
Good comeback ball there from Kofi. But Collins always looking to come down the wicket to try and negate the length of the ball. You see that most times when he's trying to attack the ball as it's coming down the wicket. So you just need to make sure that maybe you pick up that shuffle very, very early. And he takes it out of my mouth. There, Collins comes down the wicket and picks the first boundary for Team Kenya.
I think the thinking here, there you see the shot again. He comes down the wicket. He's done it several times in the previous over and in this over. You know he was going to come down the wicket anyway. As a bowler, he must be looking to walk around that pace of approach. The needed boundary for Kenya.
Yeah, if the wicketkeeper is brave enough to just come up the stumps, just take out that option of him coming down the wicket.
That's much more better delivery. Slow things down a bit. Don't go full and bloody into his pads. This man is very experienced.
Again, shuffles across the stumps. Good work there from Bakum to use his boots and keep it in. Endurance. I don't know if Ghana has the bowling to just make sure that they make something out of this game. They don't have so many bowling options besides Bakum and Kofi.
They've got spinners they could turn to. The captain himself, Obed and Vincent as well, can both be deadly against any opposition. But I always talk about potentials and actualizing them.
Full face of the bat there from Neil Mugabe. Not a bad over to start off there from Kofi, apart from the boundary that was given away. He's been tidy enough. 8 after 2 overs, Kenya.
That's the no ball to start with. And the third over, overstepping umpire Adil from Tanzania, just showing Godfred back who I am. It will be a free hit, and it's Collins Obuya who will take the next delivery.
Takes off the pace, Bakum. But it's still wides and the free hit is still on. But we like to call this moving day of any tournament, the final day of the group games, and in the afternoon there will be sorting out Group B with some interesting clashes because that group is very wide open. Namibia will be taking on Tanzania while Zimbabwe take on a big offer there from Collins Obuya, but not enough bat on that. It will just race away for a boundary. The free hit trickles into the ropes. The run starting to come for the Kenyans. But in the afternoon, Zimbabwe taking on Nigeria while Namibia take on Tanzania. Must-win clashes. Only Zimbabwe of those sides is safely through, but they'll be looking for a win to make sure that they seal top spot in that group. Top spot for them will mean that they don't miss the first. They don't face the first team in this particular game. More extras from Bakum. Kenya gave away 15 extras of their own, and now it looks like Ghana is reading from the same script. Bakum is struggling. This should be his home ground. He should be familiar with the conditions. He's given away 6 runs off 1 legal delivery only. Comes off a thick outside edge. They'll just pick up a single. Good back foot punch, but straight to the fielder there from Neil Mugabe. Hey, Bakum, another no ball, is really struggling with his run up from that end. He's not even running in at full pace, but he's been struggling with that front foot. Nine runs from only 2 balls. So there's still a very long way for him to go in this particular over.
Oh, this is becoming really, really troublesome for Ghana.
Big offer from Neil Mugabe also doesn't get a hold of it. The chase is on from the fielders, and what a top class fielding to keep that to just 2 runs. Good effort there from James Viva.
Neil Mugabe, 1 of 4 deliveries. I beg your pardon, 3 of 5. Collins will be 11 from 12.
Big effort, and this time it will beat the infield. Even the fielder at deep mid-wicket won't cut it off. Neil Mugabe picks up his first boundary, and more runs for Team Kenya. The struggle is on here from Bakum to just go through this over. 3 balls he's bowled, and he has 4 balls he's bowled, and he's given away 15 runs already. Full toss, but hits straight to the captain, Obed Harvey. Gets away with that one, Godfrey. 23 for Nolos, Kenya. Comes through quickly. Good running between the wickets here from Neil and Collins Obuya. That will finish off the third over. Kenya 24 for Nolos. This one a very, very big over from Godfrey Bakum. 16 runs coming off it. Swing and a miss there from Neil Mugabe. Kofi Bagbena continues from the road end. .88 now required from 17 overs from Team Kenya. Just about 5 runs every over. And they're now scoring at 8 runs every over. We'll shuffle through for a single, but if Kenya are able to pick up the victory here and South Africa don't beat Uganda, Kenya will go through as the second runner-up in Group A.
Spot on, Dennis. Kenya trying to step on the gears, just ensuring a better net run rate just in case things don't go the way of Uganda at over A. However, Uganda still...
Big shot coming, and big shot it is from Collins Obuya. Meets that ball on a half volley and crims it into the other ground. Breaks the shackles.
There you go, the big man Collins Obuya, clearly announcing his arrival and involvement at the crease. He won't hold back, just enforcing to ensure Kenya is in a good position.
Back to back. Not a 6, but back to back boundaries. This time, that one inside the rope. 10 runs from 3 balls. Collins Obuya now starting to take charge of this run chase. Kofi Bagbena had started so well, but the last 2 deliveries have gone for 10 runs.
That is it again. This time he's kneeling and going, looking for that deep square leg boundary, which he found gracefully, and making this look so simple, putting Kenya in a very good position here.
Go fetch again. Collins Obuya meets another half volley and he hits it way into the training fields here at the Achimota ground. Now Kofi Bagbena clearly under the pump.
Now you will understand why this man, Collins Obuya, for his amount of experience with his age at 42, is still on this side. He has something to offer. That shot for you again, coming down the line in the arc, and would go all the way to the ropes, troubling the passers-by.
Yeah, when Collins Obuya is batting, I think no one is safe, especially if you're watching around the ground. The last 2 sixes hit, one nearly took out a volunteer on the other end, and this one a passerby And he's still trying to go big, no holding back. This time doesn't get a hold of it. Just picks up a single. 18 runs in that over there from Kofi. Kenya now 41 for no loss after 4 overs. 10 runs every over.
This is becoming really a big power play over for Kenya. Richmond Baleri into the attack for Ghana. And just to give you some glimpse.
Richmond welcomed into the attack with the boundary from Collins Obuya. Collins Obuya, I think, has something to do at the Games Village. He's quickly changed gears.
Trust me, I mean, this is really good to see him get runs. That's him jumping onto the off stump and just creating room there. Ghana at this point will be wondering where the fielders must be.
And I think the good thing about it that he gets in position very, very early to play the ball where he wants to. See there, jumps to the off stump, and he knows he wants to hit behind square. Goes up in the air. Who wants it? A man is trying to settle himself under it, but he completely undoes that. Kelvin Awala was never comfortable under that ball, and it goes for another boundary, back to back. They say fortune favors the brave. I hope Awala is okay.
That was a bad fall, I tell you, Dennis. Running back wasn't quick enough. That's the shot. Didn't quite get hold of it. Hitting the bottom of the bat. Spent some time in the air. Oh, that's a bad fall.
Yeah, a strong man, and I think he will be fine. I think he's telling the rest of the team that I got this, I'll be well. The trouble for him there, he was just tracking back instead of running in the side to try and make sure that he keeps sight of the ball. Calling just too much height on that ball. But you can see there, Awala, instead of running on his side to try and make sure that he's keeping with the ball, he just decided to track back, and in the end, he fell over his arm. But he'll probably be fine. The 50 comes up for the Kenyans. 50 for no loss. Collins Obuya scored 36 of those 50 runs. And I tell you, most of them have come in the form of boundaries. Uganda 53 for 4 just across. They need 43 runs from about 8 overs for the week victory. Yeah, Kelvin, they are just being taken off by the medical team. But I think he's just trying to tell them that it's okay. He doesn't need to go off. Richmond Barrera back-to-back boundaries against his bowling. So the last 2 overs have gone for plenty. 17 from the over bowled by Bakum and 18 from the over that was bowled by Kofi Bagbena. So the challenge is on for the bowlers to try and keep the Kenyan batters quiet. There will be no keeping anyone quiet because Collins Obuya finds half a dozen. Again, using his feet and gets to the pitch of the ball. The result is another half a dozen. 14 runs in 3 balls. And Collins Obuya moves to 42 from 19 balls. Can see that again, gets to the pitch of the ball very quickly and hits it into the forest. This time trying to bowl it short and quicker. Richmond Barrera takes off the height. I think he realizes that the height is the one that is encouraging Collins to come down the track. Goes big again, Collins Obuya, and he will get another half a dozen.
We agree there's an engagement waiting at the Games Village. This is pumped up all for Collins.
Yeah, the 50 comes up for Collins Obuya as well, off just 21 balls. Again, reaches for that ball and hits it across the line, maximizing the power play. This is how you bat in the power play. But we just try and confirm that 50. The on-ground scoreboard is showing a 50, but our graphics are not yet there.
What a way, what a way. More and more runs. Inventing everything here. It's Collins Obuya showing what he's made of. Real class act here.
Yeah, Collins Obuya now having a good time. Just paddle sweeps that for another boundary. That a very, very big over from Richmond Barrera. 24 runs have come off it. He has hit the ball all over the park. He was given a chance by Kelvin. Can see that one. Paddle sweep. Knows that there's no fielder in that region. Races away for a boundary. Big over there from Collins Obuya, who got his 50. The 50 now comes up. 52 from 22 balls.
It's the captain, Obed Harvey, who will continue from the school end of the oval B. Neil Mugabe will have to just get off strike and let the big man continue the unsung show.
That's the thing. Neil Mugabe now is just the other partner in this partnership. Probably has the easiest job to do. Just get off strike and watch from the other end and enjoy the view from the other end.
We're into the last over of power play. Just to follow proceedings at the other end. A smart cricket, brilliant cricket. Big shot. But that was a clear single. It's 59 for 4. Uganda versus South Africa. Uganda chasing 96 to win and presently require 37 of 7.2 overs.
The urgency in the running from Collins Obuya, it is clear that he wants to get back on strike. But that's cardinal for people to take a single right in front of you. Feel like could have done better. Things have changed very, very quickly. 45 is now what is required in as many overs.
Things are looking like this game will finish before the other one at pitch A.
I like how Collins, plays with the bowlers, takes his time, and then he will pick his moment. trying to hit against the spin. Wides indicated by the umpire Anasi Habib. But because we're still in the power play, there's really no one on the other side.
I think this is very smart cricket by Collins. The intent was clear. You've got two fielders outside the inner ring, and I'll pummel you around this ground. Straight to the fielder, backward of point. It's brilliant bowling by the captain, Obed.
Got a fiver in the previous game in the loss to Uganda. There have been quite a number of fivers in the tournament. Picks his boundary and his gap. Nothing wrong there from Obed and from that ball, but it's just about the quality of the batter. The boundary in that over helps Kenya finish on 72 for no loss inside the power play.
That's a shot again. The key here is he gets into position. The bowler sees him there, and that is where he wants to bat from.
Yeah, as a bowler, you should know when he does that, he's already moved through the line. So don't allow him to play where he wants to play. You know, force him to play the other side. Because he goes into that mind, in that position with already a set mind that he wants to play on the own side. If you bowl the ball just where Obed have bowled it, then it's right within his hitting arc. Richmond Barrera, I think the captain doesn't have any trust issues because Richmond is brought back to bowl after going for 24 in his first over. Intelligent thing done by Neil Mugabe. Gets off strike and he brings Collins Obuya back on strike. The difference now for Richmond is that he has a lot more protection. He was bowling in the power play. That's why he went for 24. Paddle sweeps that one again. Collins Obuya will save his legs. After that will race away for another boundary. When you have someone who's hitting you 360 degree, you don't even know where you need to place the fielders. But intelligent from Collins. Back-to-back 50s for him in the tournament. He got a 58 in the game against South Africa. He's now 60 not out. Go fetch that. Flight on offer from Richmond Barrera, and he gladly accepts it. Collins Obuya uses his feet, gets to the pitch of the ball, and the search party is out there and the forest trying to find it.
Looking like this game might end in the next 2 overs. Some clear intent and show of force here by Collins. This man, big enough, experienced enough. Any captain will be happy to have him on the side. That intent becoming the real enforcer here. 66 of 27 deliveries from him.
Yeah, the search party is yet to return, so there's a delay in the game. But Collins Obuya, clearly he has a movie to catch up with, I think. He's quickly switched gears. The first 2 overs were a bit quiet from the Kenyans. But after that, we've been on a batting display of sorts. Kenya 83 for no loss. They now need just the 29 runs for them to pick up the victory. Quick enough there from Neil Mugabe to come through. Neil Mugabe, I think, taking some mercy, having some mercy on Richmond Barrera and running through for that single. Or maybe he wants some of that as well, but that goes straight down the throat of the man at deep mid-wicket, and Kenya will lose their first wicket. Richmond Barrera finally gets some reward. He's gone for 36 in 1.5 overs, but he picks up a wicket. Neil Mugabe, the man who has to go. A bit unnecessary from Neil Mugabe because Collins Obuya had gotten stuck into the bowling of Richmond Barrera. You can see that doesn't get to the pitch of the ball very well. Sort of a checked shot, but goes straight to the fielder who takes a very good catch. Kenya now 84 for 1. 84 for 1 after 6.5 overs.
That was basically unnecessary. You just keep rotating the strike perhaps and let the man who's in, Collins Obuya, clean things up. Brilliant catch there by Philip Yewuga. Well, Richmond Balleri would say, at least I got something here, something to smile about.
Yeah, of course, there's always light. At the end of the tunnel, he's gone for 36 in 1.5 overs. The new batter for Kenya is Sukhdeep Singh. Offers immediately as well, but Kofi Bagbena in the game against South Africa. Sukhdeep Singh perished playing a similar sort of shot, slog strip that went under the throat at deep square leg. Went under the throat of the man at deep square leg. 85 for 1 after 7 overs, Kenya.
It is Obed Harvey who will continue from the school end of this oval. It's 85 for 1 from just 7 deliveries, 27 required. And clearly, Sukhdeep will have to just get off strike and let Collins Obuya continue the entertainment and onslaught here. Big shout.
Yeah, big shout there, but indicated by NSC that there was some bat in that. I don't know if there was no bat. Maybe it could have been different. For anyone coming in right now, I think your plan should be very simple. Get Collins Obuya on strike and watch from the other end. All you need to do is just walk across and do and tap bats and glove, as simple as that. The man is on fire.
That is a smarter way to play cricket at the moment from what we are seeing. Don't bog him down. Don't make him get bogged down. He's batting well. Eye in, hitting the ball clean and nicely. Just bring him on strike as often as you can. It's 5 deliveries, 2 runs from it. I think we've enjoyed some real show of class. Batsmanship, you can say, from Collins Obuya.
Yeah, I think we've had too much class in this tournament. A lot of runs, and the range hitting has also been amazing. Very good over from the captain, Obed Harvey. Only 2 runs given away. Kenya now 87 for 1. Richmond Barrera is rewarded for that wicket with an extended spell. Missed that one, walked past it, and the bowler prevailing, Richmond Barrera, finally gets the big wicket of Collins Obuya. 68 for 29 is how it will finish for Collins Obuya, but what a show.
That one, the smart bowling there. He comes down the line and he dots that one away from him. Wicketkeeper made no mistake about it. You see the difference between how he played this one and the previous one is he gets into position and wait for the bowler, but this time it's coming when the bowler is about to bowl.
Yeah, very true. And I think the intelligent thing there from Bareri was to bowl it very wide. Took long to come back. And given there by NSC, Collins will have to depart. Kenya lose their second wicket. They're now 87 for 2.
Just across the road is 70 for 5 from 15.2 overs, and it's Uganda needing 26 of 4.4 overs.
Richmond Barrera to the captain, Rakep Patel. Immediately gets off the mark with the boundary.
Kenya continues to pummel the Ghanaian bowlers, just ensuring that the ball is taken quick enough to put them in a good position. That's the shot again for you. Swings, sweeps, and Kofi Bagabina could not reach that one. Chipped towards mid-wicket. Just a single from that.
Richmond Barrera, what a brave young man. He's come back well. Goes for the sweep shot against Deep Singh, but there's nothing in there. Richmond now has picked up 2 wickets, Neil Mugabe and Collins Obuya. But he's gone for 42 in 2.4 overs.
More runs here for Kenya. More runs. Last delivery from the 9th over. Richmond Baleri. Tora kept the captain. Another dot is end of the 9th over and is 93 for 2. 19 required from 11 overs. This has been a really onslaught. No thanks to that man, big guns experience, Collins Obuya. Smashes 68 of 30 deliveries with 8 fours and 5 sixes at a strike rate of 226.67. Masterclass art.
Obed Harvey will bowl from the road end for Team Ghana. He's been very tidy. I think he took long to bring himself into the attack. Oh, completely missed there by the fielder. But they pick up a double. We now need 17 runs from so many overs for Kenya to get over the line. Quicker delivery from Obed Heavy. Every time he does that, it seems like he's not happy with the umpire's decision. But you can see the wicketkeeper moved a long way to try and pick up that ball. Even from our angle, it's obvious. Swept well in front of square, and it won't beat the two fielders. A very good work there from the rope. From the fielders to just keep it to 2. Looked like he was going to bisect them. Bit of frustration there from Obed Harvey. I don't know if the frustration is on the overall context of how they've gone about their business. Started well with the bat, started well with the ball as well, and then somehow things just unrivaled for them. Flight it up, but there's cover in the deep. Just keep it to a single. One more ball to complete this over. Kenya 98 for 2.
That brings us to the end of the 10th over. It's 99 for 2. And we'll be having the cooling breaks. Umpires called for it.
We are back for the back end of this particular game. 13 runs required from 60 balls for Team Kenya. Rakep Patel batting with Sukhdeep Singh. Kenya, by the way, in the context of things, endurance, they're just trying to make sure that they chase down this total in as quick time as possible to try and boost their net run rate. In case South Africa wins on the other ground, it could come down to net run rate between the two of them. Rakep Patel, Sukhdeep Singh, again, too much class in that, gets across the line and hits it behind the fielder at a short fine leg.
Trust me, it's been a class act by the Kenyan batters. And they continue to show that required intent of putting their team in a very good position.
But I think the important thing has also been the awareness to try and realize that just winning might not be enough. You need to win and win big. 8 is what is required from so many balls. Patel, who's for most of this second inning has been a passenger just watching from the other end, tries to walk to that delivery but only manages in giving a skyer, and the catch is taken. The man of very high standard, Rakepa, will not be happy with that, and also a very good play of spin. Trying to charge the ball at Richmond Bareri, despite the fact that he's gone for so many runs, 48 in 3.2 overs, he's picked up 3 wickets. Kenya now 104 for 3. Yeah, trying to hit across the line, Patel, but unfortunately it doesn't get enough of that and only gives a skyer. 104 for 3 Kenya. The new batter is Nelson Odiambo. He joins Sukdeep Singh out in the middle for Team Kenya. Gets off the mark immediately with a single down to long off. Richmond Barrera has been very, very brave, hustled, picked up 3 wickets, gone for 49 in 3.4 overs. That's not the half century that you want to get. Another very good shot there by Sukdeep Singh. Chased in vain by the fielder. The ball will race away for a boundary. Joseph Kwame Theodri, the keeper, is the one who was doing the fielding.
That's a shot again. Just making a light work of that. The smart batters, they've seen where the fielders are placed and they're walking around this oval, just finding those gaps neatly.
Yeah, very, very smart and intelligent, because if Sukdeep is doing what exactly Collins was doing, gets inside the line of that off spin and he hits it behind square. 3 runs now required for Kenya for the win. We are 1 hit away from finishing this game. Scores are level. Kenya scores are level. 100 and Nelson for 3 Kenya. With 11 overs gone, they've been scoring consistently at 11 runs every over. Meanwhile, on the other ground, just across from us here, the Ugandans are making a meal of that run chase. They still need a couple of runs, but they're running out of resources in terms of balls.
It's Obed Harvey who will take on the 12th over.
Chance for a catch. There was not enough conviction there from Theodri Joseph. And that should be enough for the Kenyans to pick up the victory. They take the game inside 12 overs, 7-wicket win for them. And they will be watching on nervously from across to just try and find out if Uganda have helped them get into the semi-finals. But on this particular ground at Achimota-B, they've done their business. Kenya winning by 7 wickets. An emphatic performance. 68 runs from 29 balls from Collins Obuya at the top of the order. That set them up for this victory. A victory that ensures that they have their fate, their own fate in their own hands to qualify for the semi-finals tomorrow, as the second team from this particular Group A. Kenya winning by 7 wickets. Look at the batting scorecard for the Kenyans. 68 from 30 balls for Collins Obuya at the top of the order. Had a very good opening stand with Neil Mugabe, who didn't have to do much in that partnership. They've dropped a couple of wickets. Richmond Barrera picking up 3. But there was just enough that the Ghanaians could do to stop the Kenyans. They gave away 7 extras in total. Kenya racing to the victory inside 11 overs, inside 12 overs, winning by 7 wickets. A victory that puts them in a good place to finish among the top 2 teams in Group A. The bowling scorecards, Richmond Barrera going for a half century, but picked up 3 wickets, the only one in the wicket column. But 7 extras on offer there from the Ghanaians. But in the end, Kenya prevailing by 7 wickets as they ensure that they pick up their second victory in this Group A to follow it up with the victory against the South Africans. But for them, they'll be nervously watching from across to just try and make sure that Uganda does them a favor by defeating the South Africans and automatically going through. Uganda for now will need about 13 runs from 10 balls for the victory, and they've lost 8 wickets. But for now here on at Achimota, big ground, Kenya winning by 7 wickets. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with the post-match presentation.
Uganda trying to make a mess of that one. Good morning and welcome to the post-match presentation here at the Oval B. It's Ghana versus Kenya. Ghana won the toss and elected to bat, scoring just 111 runs all out from 18.3 overs at this point, and Kenya certainly chased that down in 11.1 overs, 115 for the loss of 3 wickets. I would like to invite the captain of Ghana Cricket, Obed. Obed, tough luck again. You've lost 3 from 3. I mean, this morning you were in a good position, 92 for 2 from 13 overs. Take us through that moment where you've lost 8 wickets for 19 runs.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the end of the road or the journey for us. It's a tough one. We could have done better. Like you saw, we had a good platform to build on, and unfortunately, we lost clusters of wickets unwillingly. But it's one of those days in cricket again. It's just horrible.
Obed, I'll give you the opportunity to have a chat with Ghanaian fans and, board back home. You've got 2 beautiful facilities here. I mean, this is the end of the road for you in this tournament. What do you look to see?
Oh, wow. Thanks so much for putting me on the spot again. Yeah, first of all, I want to really say hats off to the board, especially with the president and his team, the workforce that he gathered to stand strong and firm to put this outstanding facility together. It's one of those days that, it's like a dream come true. We've never had anything like that before. So going forward, hopefully we'll breed massive talent in cricket, and definitely we'll start being a force to reckon with in the near future.
One last question. How do you feel Ghana involvement in the African Games and the opportunity to host a debut tournament for cricket?
Well, like I said earlier, it's a dream come true. It's like a World Cup to us, and we unfortunately couldn't deliver. But then we were excited that this thing came to Ghana, and the team stood together next to each other, and then we were able to get this thing off the ground. And we didn't expect it to be done, but we've been able to do it. So yeah, kudos, like I said, to the board and everyone else who stood next to each other and made sure that this thing manifested.
All the best in future tournaments.
Thanks so much. Cheers.
Captain Patel from Kenya. Skipper, congratulations. Big win 2 days ago. And today I saw you hanging in there to follow the game between Uganda and South Africa. Just to be sure, how do you feel going through?
It's good to the hard work we've been putting. I think the first loss and going to semis, it's a big achievement what we've done. It's not easy. I think the conditions are changing as well, and the way players are holding their nerves. It's good to see.
Right, yeah. That chase, Obuya, that was quick. What was the plan? What was the strategy there? I knew you were keeping your eyes on the other game.
We were just trying to keep with the net run rate. I think try to chase it in under 10 overs, but I think we managed it as well. We're just trying to chase it as quick as possible.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And to help us with presenting the Player of the Match award, I would like to call on Engineer Kwasi Abiese, who is former Ghanaian international and the former chairman of GCIP. Come through, sir. And the Player of the Match today, clearly we all see from the chase, it's 68 of 30 deliveries. Collins Obuya. Come here, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Collins, don't run away, please. Collins, congratulations there. What a knock. I mean, what was going through your mind? Most of us in the comms box thought you had a party back at the village.
Yeah, it was a good knock. I just enjoyed myself, like playing freely, like playing freely, and that really motivated me as well.
Well, you were able to pick the fielders. I mean, in that process, I see you had a game plan straight up, and you were able to do that. How much experience have played in today's match?
It was a good pitch. Looking at the pitch, it was a good pitch, and that helped me to play my shot freely.
All the best, Collins.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's the show from the post-match presentation. It's the end of it here, and it's Kenya who have dominated.